Good afternoon. I'm Tim Carter. This is Ask the Builder, and I am here in the man cave, and it's Friday, and I've had kind of an interesting day. I um I expended a lot of energy this morning writing the newsletter that's going to come out on Sunday. It's going to there's a group of people, a small group of people that get my newsletter that are going to be really unhappy. um anyway, we can talk about it if you want. But we're going to talk in a few minutes about this neat blower that I just got out of the box. It's right here. Pretty big. I mean, pretty it's like a pretty damn big. All right. I'm not going to turn it on because it'll blow you away. All right. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Hi, Steve. So it's going to be an interesting newsletter on Sunday. I can tell you that. It's I can talk about it a little bit if you want, but I'm really going to talk about it tomorrow morning. I think that's what I prefer to do. So I sent an announcement out to my 25,000 newsletter subscribers. I sent it out pretty early this morning that I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning. So it's the first time I've done a stream in the morning, and it's going to be on a Saturday. So we're just going to try to change it up. That's what, good night. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Holt. Just going to try to change it up. See if we can pick up any more, some new European subscribers because, like right now, you need to realize it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock at night in London, so it's 9 o'clock at night in Paris. And I know 8 hours, it's 8 hour difference in at least 7 hours difference in Saudi Arabia. Thus, we'll be getting people, around lunchtime or so. We'll see what happens. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. And to try to pull over my newsletter people who've been really resistant. I've had a really hard time convincing my newsletter people to come watch the live stream. I told them it's going to be about the future of Ask the Builder. I just kind of teased it a little bit. And I put a clue in Latin at the bottom of the newsletter announcement. We'll see what happens. And but if you have a chance, tune in tomorrow. If not, you really should read my newsletter on Sunday. If you have not subscribed, the link's right at the top there in the chat. It's free, and I can tell you that the newsletter, I've spent hours on it. I've spent hours on this edition today because it's so important. And it has to be worded correctly. And around lunchtime, I was on a phone call with my son, and I said, "Hey, could I send this to you?" He's a really good. He really, what I like about my son is that he tells the truth. Like if I do something stupid, he'll just tell me, "Okay, that's really stupid." He's painfully honest. So I wanted to know from his perspective, and he knows the context. He's seen Ask the Builder his entire life. Ask the Builder launched when he was 3 years old. Right. So actually, that's kind of a funny thing. We're going to talk about that blower in just a second. I may have shared this with you already. I've got 3 children. One of my kids, when I launched Ask the Builder, was already 9 years old. And so when she was like in kindergarten, first grade, to try to get her out of her mom's hair, because Kathy had been with her all day, all week, so Kathy looks like this, So on Saturdays, I often would work just like 3 or 4 hours. And I like to do that because there really wasn't anybody else on the job site. And I would just go there and do some odd things. And so I used to take my daughter with me as often as possible. And she would just be there with me. she would never be in danger. I didn't want my daughter hurt, and she would help me. I'd have her clean up a little bit. I'd have her hold things, and she loved it. And so she has memories. She knows that I used to work for a living. All right. My other two kids, by the time they had, think how old you were where you have and keep your first memories. I mean, you generally can't say, oh yeah, I remember when I was 9 months old. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember we went to the store and oh yeah, we made that snowman. Bull crap. I don't think most people can go back in their tiny gray cells and have any visions of anything, much before 6 years old. Unless it's some kind of traumatic experience. So my kids, my two younger kids, they think I just chatted on lines with babes all day down in the basement, in my pajamas. Oh, well, all right. Let's talk about this blower. Hi, Marcus. 9 o'clock. Okay, so 9 o'clock for you, Marcus. So 5 hours. I find that interesting because so you must not be on daylight savings time in Ireland, because I thought Steve was 4 hours behind. Because I can tell you, as a ham radio operator right now, for me to calculate universal time, it's my time and 24-hour clock plus 4. All right, so universal time right now is as I look at my clock, it's 20. It's 20. It's 20:06 in universal time. All right. So yes. So anyway, yeah, Jimmy, I'm getting to that right now. So anyway, I'm glad you're here, Marcus. All right, let's talk about the blower. There's really not much to say about this thing. You go to the Toro website, and there's just not much to say, and you'll see in just a minute. I just want, for some context, I have been using a cordless battery-powered blower made by Still, the chainsaw people. In fact, this is kind of cute. If I still have it here. Oh yeah. I may give this away to somebody one day. So here's a little Still chainsaw, right? Listen to it. Isn't that funny? All right. So anyway, nice little toy. I've been using a cordless blower, battery powered, for, gosh, it could be 5 years, and it's like my favorite tool. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's so cool. It's so lightweight, works really well. I got this one. They couldn't have sent it, in my opinion, at a worse time. They sent it, I don't know, I think November, December. I mean, it was already cold. It was starting to snow. And they sent a few other outdoor garden type tools. And I just thought in my head, I thought, what the hell? I'm not going to be able to test these for 5 months, So I decided to get it out today. And so here it is. So it's 60 volts. All right. So it's got a massive battery. That's the battery right there. The thing with the blue label on it. It does 605 cubic feet per minute. Says it's like 100 and something miles per hour. So it really blows. I mean, if I keep it on a long time, it's going to just scatter stuff here in the office. It's pretty lightweight. I mean, I can hold it here, suspend it with one hand pretty easily. I think the only thing that I would change, I think it'd be kind of interesting. Here, I'll try to hold it sideways. See, this is a pretty big hole, and I think it would really be interesting to have an adapter that makes this more narrow. Much like an old. This is probably 120-year-old fire nozzle. This is an old fire nozzle. All right, so you can see through it right there. It hooks to an 1.5 inch hose. Imagine, I'm not saying to go down as narrow as this, but this is 4 inches. But imagine having an adapter that took it down to 2.5 inches. I mean, boy, it'd be like a pressure washer. It'd be like an air pressure washer. And I just think it'd be interesting. So 60 volt battery, all right? And of course, the battery is interchangeable. They have an entire huge line of tools, completely interchangeable. I'll take the battery out. Big battery, all right? And of course, as with all these things, the battery has got all these batteries. You see them. It's got a little indicator to tell you how much charge. So this one's fully charged. It comes with a charger. Well, you can buy it anyway. You can buy it with the battery and charger. You can buy it without the battery and charger. The price with the battery and charger, $219. The price with just the tool only is $149. I can tell you it's going to work really well. There's just not a doubt about it. It's going to be fantastic. Any questions about it? Let's see here. Clock go forward an hour. Yes, the blower is brushless, Jimmy. All right. So, all right, Marcus. Clock went forward. All right. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. I just would have thought that all of the UK would have been in the same time. I don't know. Oh, I understand. All of the UK is now different time. I get it. All right. Holt says, Tim, to confirm for clarification purposes, are you unable to see the folks that have joined? I can see them. I wish I could. I mean, this is so horrible. Well, I know I could get other live stream software that is much more powerful. I could probably copy and paste and screen share. I cannot do that with this. I can see everybody. Well, here's what happens. If I go up here, I can see, I see a list of participants. All that it shows me is the people who have checked in. I can see, in other words, I can click a button that says participants. It only shows the ones that have checked in, yet I see that there are 5 more people here than are currently checked in. So I just ask people to check in because, like I say, it's the polite thing to do. And for new people, well, remember, like a day or so, maybe, I don't know if it was yesterday, they all blend in now to me. Yesterday or on Wednesday, we had Lex from Brazil. I know 3 days ago we had Abdu, I think, from Saudi Arabia. So we have Marcus from Ireland. I mean, it's really, I am like humbled to think that there are people internationally who are watching this live stream. It's like, I just think it's fascinating. So, all right, let's see. Wow. Yeah, Jimmy, it would be so powerful, man. I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try that. My biggest problem is I can't figure out how, because that tube is so smooth. It's going to want to keep blowing it off. And I really don't want to mess it up and put screws through it. But I just think that there could be a need to have that tube longer, more narrow. Holt says, makes sense. I'm just surprised they don't give you a live list. Well, they'd probably do that for privacy reasons. I think it's a smart idea. I think for the people watching the stream, just like, I mean, we have a professional. We have a professional lurker that's that is constantly lurking on us, right? Let's see if he checks in. He knows I'm just teasing. I'm talking about Jason, So, oh my gosh. So anyway, so I think, Holt, that YouTube wants to protect the privacy of the people watching the stream, and I get that. That's okay. It's like on a Zoom call, people don't have to turn on their video. I don't even think they have to identify who they are. I mean, they could, whatever. I don't know. I'm no expert in it. I just think it's nice for people to check in. It helps me. That's all. Yeah. So Will says, we've talked about this. Will thinks of buying up corded tools for future. I think it might be a good idea, actually. I've been actually thinking about doing the same thing. In other words, I've talked about inflation. I've talked about as it gets worse, you need to take your cash, actual cash money that either you have under the mattress, in your checking account, savings account, wherever. You need to transform it into things that are not cash, like Matchbox toys in excellent condition, um, water things, water things, corded tools, because you're not going to be able to get them. It's going to be really, really hard to get a corded circular saw. But if you're going to do this, only buy quality stuff and don't store it in the garage. You have to store it in a warm, heated place. Holt says, for interactive and collaborative purpose, I think it would be great someday, great somebody to be able to Zoom a call, a Zoom interact for all. So Holt, we did a Zoom call of some of the early people who've watched this. I think it's been 2 months now, easily been 2 months. There were about 6 of us on the call, maybe 7. One of the things I'm thinking about doing, it's going to be really hard to pull off, and I would not even consider doing it until this whole illness thing is over. Well, it's never going to be over, but the whole face diaper thing is over. In other words, I'm not getting on an airplane until the face diaper thing's over with. All right, I'm just not doing it. And I think that we ought to do an Ask the Builder parachute drop. And so what a parachute drop is, it's where I announce and say, okay, I'm going to be at this resort. It doesn't have to be super fancy. It's just that some of these hotels call it a resort. It could be in Phoenix. It could be in Tucson. It could be anywhere, but it's going to be someplace nice. It's not going to be freezing cold. It's not going to be 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And I would say, and I would say this 6, 7 weeks out, 9 weeks out, whatever. I would say, I'm going to be at this resort for these 3 days. And if you want to come to the resort and hang out, awesome. It's totally unstructured time. You can bet it's going to be someplace I can play golf, someplace I can do outdoor radio, someplace that's got an amazing swimming pool. So those who, if I'm there by myself, okay, doesn't matter. But if others show up, we can have breakfast together if they want. We can have lunch. We can go on a hike if they want. They can go shopping if they want. It's not structured at all. It's totally unstructured. So that would be really a lot of fun. I've done quite a few of them with another group of people. So the parachute drops, they're amazing fun. I mean, amazing. All right. So it is fun. It's a lot of fun. It's totally unstructured. That's the thing. In other words, people texting, like a group text, just say, hey, I'm going to be down at the pool in 20 minutes. You don't want to wear people out and be with them all day. I mean, just play shuffleboard, play whatever. I don't know. Just have a good time. All right. If you have any questions about your home, I mean, we have a lot of regulars here, but if you're here and you've not been here before and you have a question about your home, that's why I do the live streams. Just go ahead and type your question in the chat and I'll do my best to answer it. I had quite a few really great questions come into the website. One of them today was from a young man in Salt Lake City trying to insulate his crawl space. And he says he's on a tight budget and he gave up 2 options of what he wanted to do. And one of them was just ludicrous. So I emailed him back and said, listen, this is why I created, first of all, I said I'm an expert in this area, but this is why I created my phone call, because there's way too much to type. And one of the things you suggested is a nightmare, not going to work. And we should do a phone call. And of course, I tell them the phone call's free. Like, in other words, if at the end of the phone call, you're thinking in your head, like, that old goat, what a ripoff. I didn't learn anything I didn't already know, So it's really hard to be, you don't want to be confrontational on a phone call. So I always tell people, just after the phone call, just email me. If you want your money back, no problem. I'll just give it. I mean, in the 20 years I've been doing this, I've only had to give money back to 2 people. So anyway, hi Louise. Going pretty good today. I didn't get quite as much done as I wanted to, although I wrote a really nice letter to my daughter. I'll mail it tomorrow. I've started to write her letters, and I've taken up cursive writing and got some special paper. I used the pen she gave me for Father's Day last year, so kind of neat stuff. Trying to keep her up to speed with what's going on here back home. So they're not super long letters, but hopefully she'll keep them, look back on them when they kick my ass back up to heaven. So if you're here, got questions about your home, just type it into the chat. Happy to help you. Happy to help. The Toro blower, it's funny. I got the blower out. It's been in the garage, and I knew it was there. And Kathy had bought some. Kathy likes to buy birdseed, and she buys the sunflower chips, the one where they take the black hull off the seed, and so you just have the inside. It's like shelling a peanut, all right? Because the black outer thing just makes a mess. Well, the last time she went to Agway, they were sold out. So she had to get she had to get the crappy seed. So it just makes a mess because on the ground are all these shells, And so she's out there with a broom messing with it. And so I thought, well, I can do her a favor, It's so much easier to use this blower. So I put it together, put the battery in, take it down, and turn it on a little bit. She goes, oh, I don't want that. That's too noisy. And she says, besides, after this one bag's done, it's not going to be a problem anymore because no matter what, I'm going to find those chips. So I tried to give it to her, but she wouldn't take it. Hi, Don. How you doing? Glad you're here. But I can tell you that I'll use it. I absolutely will use that thing. So I want to share with you, I think if you're interested, some people have been asking about it. How are the tomatoes doing? Check this out. This is just after a month. All right. So that's the biggest one. I have another one almost identical. It's about 8 inches high now. All right. So, and the stem is 1/4 inch in diameter. It's just amazing, So the tomatoes are doing really well. So they're doing great. Fantastic. Here I have to wait another month. I mean, it won't be until April until I start to take them outside. And what I've decided to do this year is I'm going to put them in 5-gallon buckets. Cut the bottom out, put a bunch of holes in it for drainage. But in that transition month until we start to have, we can have, I can tell you 5 years ago or so, on Memorial Day, all right, May 31st, there was sleet on the hood of my truck. I got a photo of it. I can go back into my records and find it. Sleet on my flipping. So it was like 32 degrees here. Crazy. So you don't put things out, until June. So I'm going to, but the sun is already starting to get really warm in the daytime. So when I pretty much can be guaranteed a 55, 60 degree days, I'm putting these bad boys outside, but I've got a dolly that I'm going to put it on, and then I'll bring the dolly in at night because it could still drop down to 40 degrees at night. So I'm going to take them in and put them in the garage at night, bring them out in the daytime. So I want to get them into that 5-gallon bucket as soon as possible. That's how my father-in-law used to grow them. Yeah, so I might try that, the ground coffee. I've heard about that before. I'm a coffee drinker, so I could put a little coffee on top of the soil. I have no trouble with that. What I'm going to do this year, we've got really beautiful soil in the woods. If you could see out the window right here, I have a window right by me, and it's just all woods. I own it all. The topsoil in the woods, oh my gosh, it's this beautiful, rich black stuff. So I'm going to go there and scrape a bunch of it, get them onto the topsoil. I'm going to go buy a bag of manure, mix it all together, put a little sand in it maybe. I mean, the soil's already sandy. And I think it's going to be a great medium for these tomatoes. Great medium. We'll see. Should be wonderful. I talked to my son about it. I'm going to make a bunch of, if I'm really lucky and have a great harvest, blah, 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 through the summer, I'm going to make a bunch of pasta sauce, make my own pizza sauce, whatever. All right, Marcus. Um, okay, reducing the blower to a nozzle will increase the load of the motor. Yeah, it would do that. You're right, and reduce air volume. Um, okay, all right, that's a good point. That's a good point. I may actually reach out to the Toro rep and ask him about that because I trust the engineers, and you're right about that. I mean, you're right that if you restrict it too much, it's definitely going to put a little bit more load in the motor. I agree with that. What I'm going to try to do, it's going to be pretty unscientific. I'm really curious to test this one side by side with the still. And it's really not fair because the still one is, I think the battery's 30 something volts. This one's 60. Um, I mean, the motors are mine. I mean, there could be all kinds of differences. So it's not really a fair side by side comparison. And plus, this Toro one is newer technology. All right, what was it? It's only a year old, and the still one is at least 5 years old. So, but I'm a big fan of the handheld blowers. I do have a backpack one. I have a backpack Husqvarna that's really amazing. But it's heavier. It's on the back. It's a gasoline engine. Um, but it does a really great job though too. So anyway, I've got both. Good point though, Marcus. Very good point. Will says we can hear a dripping sound after the hot water has stopped running in the upstairs sink. So you call it a dripping sound. Will, let me ask this question. I've got a couple of questions. I think I know what it is. You gave a really important clue after the hot water is stopped. So where do you hear this noise? Do you hear it like in the ceiling, downstairs? Do you hear it in the wall? I mean, where do you hear it? I'm pretty certain I know what the answer is. I've got it on my website, as you might expect. I know there must be some latency today. There's, in the chat. That happens sometimes where I ask you a question, you type the answer, and it takes 30 or 40 seconds for it to show up. I don't, that's kind of a problem sometimes. It could be, who knows where it is? It could be at my end. It could be at YouTube's end. It could be at Will's end. Doesn't matter. All right, hear it in the floor upstairs. All right, so here's what I think it is, and you can test this pretty easily. Let me ask this question: do you know if your home has PVC drain pipes? Plastic drain pipes, or do you not know? I mean, like down in the basement or wherever, can you see PVC coming through the floor from the upstairs? And then my next question would be, how long has this been going on? Did it just start? Did it hit upstairs PVC? Okay. How long has this noise been happening? Like just started a week ago? It's happening for years, as long as you can remember. Just how long has it been going on? You can, just so you know, you can see why I have to do these phone consults, because I have somebody like Will ask me that question, and I've got a million questions, and I have to go back, and then you do this back and forth via email, and all of a sudden you've invested a half an hour. And if I'm talking on the phone, it's like boom, 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 boom. I can cut right to the chase in like 2 minutes. People don't understand this. It's like idiots. Do you think all I do is sit around my flipping house with my thumb up my butt waiting for you to email me? That doesn't pay the bills, Commander. Okay, here's what the problem is, Will. PVC is very responsive. It has a very high expansion contraction coefficient. So when because the clue you gave automatically, I knew exactly what it was, assuming it was PVC, because it doesn't happen when you run the cold water. All right. So when you run the hot water in the sink, or if you take a shower and you take a really hot shower, same thing will start to happen. So, like you're taking a shower, and after about 3 minutes, someone downstairs hears this click or drip And they're like, oh, what's that? Right. And here's the magic. The shower stops. And then what happens? Here's the important thing. If you're taking a 15-minute shower, let's just say, this clicking or this sound only happens for the first 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Then it goes away. But then you turn the shower off. About 7 minutes later, click, 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 drip, drip. All right, here's what's happening. When the PVC before you take the shower is the same temperature as the house. So if you've got your thermostat, if the inside temperature of your home is 68 degrees, that's what the pipe is. All of a sudden, you're putting 120 degree water or 115 degree water into this pipe. And so that the delta T changes and it goes into the pipe starts to expand. And the trouble is it's rubbing against the framing. That's why it's bound up. This PVC pipe is bound up and it's touching things, and when it expands, it makes that noise. And so it's making the noise as the pipe expands and finally gets up to temperature. And once it gets up to temperature and it's not growing anymore, it stops making the noise. So as long as you keep 115 degree water flowing through the pipe, no more noise. But as soon as you stop the water, the pipe starts to cool down and it starts making the noise again as it contracts. Exactly. Yeah, I'm flipping wizard. And this is why to you and many others, there are many, many others, thousands of people on newsletter, they'll get a big laugh out of Sunday's newsletter. Because you ask this question at 8 other websites and they'll go, oh, you better cut out the freaking drywall, man. You better make a hole in the drywall. You better be checking things out. Idiots. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait. Here, I didn't share with you. I just shared a few of them. I started to actually share and create a page on my website about all these people gritching and bitching and wanting my test stain video for free. And I thought, okay, I'll respond. I'll put up my defense. And I was doing that for about 45 minutes. And I thought, this is crazy. I don't need to do this. I already know I'm right. Screw them on the horse they rode in on. If they want to be flipping cheapskates, if they want to go out, if they want me to work for free and be a communist, they can drop dead. They don't work for free. They don't go to their jobs and say, you know what, I'm working for free today, man. But they want me to work for free. I mean, if they go to an attorney to pay, to get help to pay for his knowledge, they don't say, hey, I expect you to give me that legal advice for free, because I mean, what the hell? I mean, shit, you're making all kinds of money from other people, so why should I have to pay? I mean, that's probably what they would say to an attorney or a doctor. But me, I can go online and here's what they say. I can go online and get home improvement advice for free. Well, good, go get it. Go freaking get it. And you might end up at a couple of websites. Did you know that there are websites out there that pay stay-at-home moms? I'm not saying a stay-at-home mom is bad. Kathy's been one her whole life. But some of these stay-at-home moms are trying to make extra money. They pay them $10 to write a column about how to build a deck. And the stay-at-home mom has never had a tool in her hand, has never worked 1 minute in a paying customer's house, much less dig a pier or lay out a deck. But she writes a column about it. And you might end up at that website and read this column and go, shit, that's how I'm going to do it. Idiot. What the hell is wrong with you? And so in my newsletter, towards the bottom of it on Sunday, I say, Shirley, tell me, tell me, when you go to some other home improvement website, isn't the first thing you do, you go to the About Us page, the About Us page? You know what that is? Tells you about the website. Surely you go there and you read it because you want to see the picture of the person who's creating the content. You want to read their CV. You want to find out how experienced they are. Oh, You mean you don't do that? You mean to tell me you never go and check the About Us page? Are you serious? That's what I'm saying. They're just like basically telling a few of my subscribers, "You bunch of flipping idiots." I'm not answering this. It's a call. Let's screen the call. Let's see who it is. Have you ever seen how that works on Google? They screen the call. A computer talks to them. We'll see what they say. It's probably one of my loser subscribers. I don't mean to abuse them. I just get so frustrated. We'll see if this person's saying, I'm sure this is a spam call. That always happens. Of course, they're not doing anything. We're hanging up on this loser. All right. The reason let me tell you the story about, hi, Vanessa. Vanessa wants to know, how long does it last on a charge? I thought that's a great question. I can tell you that it would be a function of how hard you squeeze the trigger and how many RPM. It's a variable speed. So it's just like your car. If you floor your car, you're going to get a lot poorer gas mileage than if you just kind of putter along like a 70-year-old silver top, right, Steve? I thought I saw, I look at so much stuff. I'm going to say 25, 30 minutes maybe of blowing. I don't know. I have dug many holes. I have placed a great many fence posts. I have concrete. Yes. Battery capacity in amp hours. Let's see what it says. It says 2.5 amp hours, 60 volts, 135 watt hours. Hope that helps you. There you go. It's all right there. So, I don't know where I was. I went off the rails about some of my subscribers who want stuff for free. All right. I'm going to do a quick poll with you. I think you need to understand something about this. When I do the polls, well, I may be able to see, but I've not figured out how to do it, and I really don't want to do it, and I don't care because in other words, I don't know who's doing what answer. It's like secret voting. All right, and that's the way it should be. So that way you answer honestly, because I don't think you want to offend me. All right, sometimes, but you should be like my son. You need to tell me the truth. So let's do a quick poll. And I'm not going to necessarily give you enough information to make a great answer, but I don't know what else to do. See, it doesn't let you, right. So here, I'm going to have to explain something. All right, I'm going to publish the poll, but don't answer yet. All right, don't answer the poll yet. Okay, hang on. Let me explain it. All right, so here's the poll is posted. Don't answer. All right. What if you've ever gone to like the Washington? Don't answer. Oh my gosh. I said don't answer. I can see the answers come in. All right. So if you go to the Washington Post's website, big newspaper owned by Jeff Bezos, they let you, I think, see 5 or 6 free columns a month because they set a cookie. And then if you want to see columns after that, you have to pay a small amount. I think the Columbus Dispatch does the same thing. Consumer Reports is the exact opposite. Consumer Reports puts all of their content behind a paywall. I don't think I can get away with that, and I don't want to do that because I don't think I don't have the brand power that Consumer Reports has. You may think I do. Jason thinks I do. I don't. And what happens as soon as you do that, you lose all of your Google rankings. They go to 0. All right. So I'm pretty certain of it. So anyway, so there you go. So if I so take the poll. Do you think I should put just part of my content? Because I'll show you where I'm headed. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. This is actually the topic of tomorrow's live stream. All right, so we'll see what happens. So there's the question. Remember, I'm not saying all the content. I'm saying just part of the content. So and also understand that the fee could be as low as $2-3 a month to see unlimited content. I mean, so in other words, it's not going to be expensive. So just an idea. I'm toying with this idea. So I teased it in Sunday's newsletter. All right, let me get caught up on the comments. Surveys can be fun, but well, here's the trouble with surveys. If you want surveys to be accurate, you have to be really good at asking the questions, because you have to know how to write them so they're not biased. And I'm not very good at that. I probably should I should have done it years ago. I didn't really think about this, but I've had people on my newsletter list chide me who are professionals, saying your surveys suck because you ask leading questions, blah, blah, whatever. They have a long list of stuff. It's a science on how to ask questions in a survey to do it right. All right. So anyway, 2 back-to-back flipping crutch words. Jimmy says getting 2 front tires changed on a company truck will be tune out. I don't know what that means. Tomorrow AM, if not passed out. See you, Jimmy. Okay, got it. I understand. Vanessa, many websites have paywalls. Come do that. Yeah, yes, exactly. Holt, I think it depends on whether or not you generate any ad revenue from potential built into your website. Well, that's a great question. So we're going to talk about that right now. I said yes, but I would have chosen it depends. I know, and I think maybe I can add that option. And the trouble is, I didn't give you enough data. They only let me type in 200 characters in the question. I failed probability and statistics in college. I did not get it. I got an A in calculus, but man, probability and statistics, like, are you kidding me? Maybe it was the teachers. Maybe they sucked. I don't know. So I'll ask you a question and type in your answer. This is going to be really interesting. Because I'll tell you the answer, but I need you to answer this. There's not many people here. It's a Friday. I get it. All right, we just lost one. All right. Tell me how much you think I make a day from each visitor to my website. In other words, how much money does each visitor put in the bucket? All right. So just take a guess. How much money does each visitor generate for me each day? Really be fascinated with your answer. Just guess. You're not going to hurt. I've tried donation subscriptions. I've tried that doesn't work. People are so cheap. They don't. I've had a donation link at the bottom of my newsletter for 10 years. Maybe I've generated $80. Maybe in 10 years. You know, it says, if you found something useful in today's newsletter, give me a tip. You know, it just buy me a coffee, whatever. And they can choose like $1, whatever. $80 in 10 years. All right, I need to hear from everybody. 10. Okay, Krugs. I don't know what 10 is. Is that 10 cents, $10? So try to guess, what do I get each day from each visitor to my website? Because, you know, and most of the people come to the website, they're not clicking anything. I mean, they're not buying anything. There's nothing to buy on my website. You have to go to my shopping cart to buy something. Okay, $10. All right. Don, 0.006 cents. These are great answers, by the way. Great answers. 1 cent. Marcus, 1 cent. Good. All right, I'll let it go another minute or so because Vanessa, I don't know. Just take a guess, Vanessa. How much money do you think I get from each visitor to the website? I mean, they don't actually pay anything. They're not paying any money. It's just that every now and then somebody's clicking an ad, and then when I divide the ad revenue for that day by the amount of visitors, then it tells you what I got per visitor. I'll let it go another minute, then I'll tell you. I'm happy to tell you. All right. Let's see. Somebody was almost right on it. Well, Marcus and Holt, if you averaged what they said, that's what it would be. So 2 cents, 2 cents a visitor. And Don, your guess was exactly spot on what I get per YouTube viewer. And think about that. Not even a penny. I get 0.6 of a penny per YouTube visitor. So this is why this whole hullabaloo this past week started. Here, I'm going to create this deck stain test video where I show people, look, here's what the stain looks like after 2 years. You're going to be amazed how good it looks. Most deck sealers fail in 2 years, completely fail. This one has not failed. I don't know when it's going to fail. And for me, and I had to buy the deck sealer, anyway, it doesn't matter. For me to make just $600 would take 100,000 views. And if you go look at all my videos, I have some videos on my channel that have been there 15 years, good videos, maybe have 40,000 views. Vanessa, do they give you ad revenue in the thousands? No, they just they add revenue from everybody. I make ad revenue from the ad network that's on Ask the Builder. I make ad revenue from YouTube. It's just in dollars and cents, so I don't know. My YouTube revenue could be, I don't know. I'm just making up a number. $1,242.18. All right. It's not, they just round it to the penny. Exactly. After a year. Yeah. So the disconnect for some people, here's the disconnect for some, is that they feel that I'm making all of this money from advertising on the website. Here's what's funny. You read a bunch of the feedback. A bunch of people are bitching and moaning about the ads on the website. They're saying, you've got too many ads on the website. and yet they want the information for free and they want fewer ads. Like, what? It's crazy. I mean, you read the answers and you actually think, did this person fall and hit their head? Like, seriously. And then there's a whole nother bucket of cynics that they go, oh, you're getting kickbacks from the manufacturers that you're not telling us about. You're getting all this extra, you're getting all this money, and and then you want to charge us, like, you're evil, you're greedy. And then there's a bucket of people, think about this. There's a bucket of people that said, well, go to the manufacturer of the product that you think works really well and have them sponsor the video. Like, are you serious? Can you imagine that phone call? Hi, I'm Tim Carter. I tested your product independently. It came out fantastic. I'm going to publish this video, and I would like you to sponsor it to the tune of $10,000 or $20,000. And so the marketing director goes, wait a minute. Why should I pay a penny? Because you're going to release this video and people are just going to rush to buy my product. Why should I pay you anything? Because I automatically won. I won the race. I should. I mean, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Do you think what kind of company would pay you when they're already going to win? I'm serious. Doesn't it's these people who they've never made a call to get an advertising dollar. I'm getting caught up on the comments. Maybe if you didn't have such a plush studio, they would understand. It's just so freaking plush. I mean, neckerchiefs, bandanas for sound control. 3 cents. You're really close, H. Lee. He can't even afford a flipping whiteboard. Vanessa, ouch, I'm not sponsoring anything. Yeah, so I've got a group of people on my list, man. They're just flipping. And the scary thing is they might be breeding. I mean, they oh. I know. We have whiteboard paint down in the basement. Oh my gosh. All right. So that's where I'm at. All right. So tomorrow's live stream, going to get into much more detail about it and tell exactly what's going to happen. It's going to piss off some people. Too bad. I don't care. I am so. I had a lot of fun writing the newsletter. I'm serious. So the interesting thing is the survey, 75% said yes to putting the content, some of the content, not all of the content, behind a paywall. So I'll explain to you how it used to work in the past. When I first started Ask the Builder, I started Ask the Builder like 28 years ago, 1993. The newspapers, you don't get paid hardly anything from the newspapers. I've already asked that question on the live stream. They have a very strict word count, or what they call column inches. In other words, they only give you like 17 inches of space. All right? And they don't want you to go over that. Well, I mean, I could write 3 or 4 times as much. So they did allow me to have what's called a shirt tail or a tagline, where it says at the bottom of the column, if you want more information about this topic that includes specific how-to instructions, 3 diagrams, blah, 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 send $2 and ask for bulletin and a self-addressed stamped envelope and ask for Builder Bulletin 123. And they listed my address. So they would do that for free. So years and years ago, this was before the internet, I would get stacks of envelopes, and I would take at the end of the week, I swear to God, at the end of the week, rubber banded together, I would take stacks of checks to the bank. So that was helping pay the bills. But then the internet came, and I put all that premium content on my website for free just to have more pages. And the early days, the advertising revenue was really great, and there was no competition. I had no competition. Then things happened, and it's not that way anymore. So, all right, let me get caught up. Vanessa says, who would ever want an ancient math teacher to be an ad for them? I don't know. Look at Vanessa. What was the name? Clara something. 25, 30 years ago, the professional, the actress, the woman who for Wendy's, where's the beef lady? Come on. And I mean, if you watch TV at night like I do, I only watch for like a half an hour, but I see all these commercials for old people about all the products for old people, all the drugs, and there's all these silver top women on them. So there's a lot of need for old women in ads. All right. If people just learn hard enough not to be a soft, squishy cupcake, the world would be, yeah, it sure would be. Oh, I'm waiting for the car dealership shakedown. I know. I don't know if that story is going to happen. I'm on to other things. It's not. Here's the trouble, Will. I mean, it's not going to. No one's going to care, and it's not going to move the needle. It's not going to change the thing. Although I don't know. I may talk about it in the newsletter the following week, real briefly. and just say how very briefly my daughter got raped psychologically and went to Carvana, had a fantastic experience. So I just may share that. But Vanessa, watch me get banned from YouTube for that. No, you won't get banned. I have no doubt about it. Porto Semper, yeah. So anyway, it's going to be really fun on Sunday. I can tell you I'm going to get some really, really interesting email replies back, you know. Oh, I'll give you an update. I think I read this email 2 days ago. I told you this, but yeah, carry always, exactly. Porto, and that's exactly right. Porto is the Latin for carry, you know, portable. Got it? Isn't that amazing? If I took Latin 2 years, but I failed it both years. But Latin's kind of a neat language. I mean, if I had more time, I actually would like to jump back into it again. And very interesting language. Tomorrow, yeah, Vanessa, tomorrow morning I'm doing it at 8:15 in the morning, 8:15. So if you're around, and once again, I made the offer to you, and I know you might not be able to do it. I get it, but I just want to remind you, I am more than happy to do a video call with your math class if you're allowed to do it, if you want to do it, to explain to them, you know, to give a real life examples of how mathematics is used in the real world, you know, in the world that I live in. So just think it. You don't have to respond. I'm just saying, keep that in mind. Carry always, yeah, it's great. That's a great motto. Quick update. I understand. Yeah, I got it. I'm so upset with the public school systems in America. I just can't. I had a big letter. Oh, if you want to see something interesting, so go. I'll give you the link. I mean, I got to check to make sure the link's right. I think this is the link. Just a second. You're gonna. Yes, this is it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Here we go. This may upset you. All right. I'm going to run the risk. I really don't care because I published a letter. So I wrote a letter to the editor last week, and it was really timely. And all of a sudden, it blew up. This topic kind of blew up in the news. So go to this website, and you're going to see the most recent edition is March 31st, and it's got two calves, two calves on it, you know, and open it up and probably just go to page 1. I think, you know, or page 2. That's where the letters to the editors are. So go read my letter to the editor that I wrote. Might upset you, but that's okay. You'll get over it like a bad cold. All right. Yeah, I'll bet, Vanessa. I'll bet they're different. I mean, because you've been out there. I mean, you've seen the real flipping world, man. I just read that letter to the editor. one of my ham radio buddies saw it yesterday. he texted me this morning, and just with like the big the emoticons with the tears coming out of the eyes, you know, the laughing so hard you're crying, and all he said was pink and baby blue. This letter to the editor is going to put the panties of some people in a really tight twist. No offense, Vanessa, just, you know, but but I was so angry when I wrote this letter. I'm just like, you know what? Because I'm tired of people not speaking up. I'm just tired of it. And everybody's so afraid. Well, when you go there, Vanessa, it's when you go to page 2, it should be letters to the editor. So you're trying to find the letters to the editor, and you'll find mine. Usually he publishes mine as the first one out of the box. So And it has to do with transgender, is all I can tell you. Transgender. So maybe that's the headline. So go find it. Like I said, it's probably going to offend a few people, but I don't care. I don't care. You know, you need to get a flipping fruit roll, a juice box, and a fruit roll up, and go over to they're over there on the shelf with the flipping coloring books. You know, go get one. All right. So if you have any questions about your home, that's why I do the live streams. We hit and got the last question, I think, was Will's, which was a really good one about his PVC pipe expanding and contracting when the hot water is in the thing. Hot water's run. I get that question quite a bit. I wrote a column about it years ago. So anyway, probably everybody's off reading you're all off reading the letter to the editor. And it's a great little paper. It's a really interesting paper, that WHOOSH Times. It's not hard news at all. It's a feel-good paper, and I really enjoy it. I mean, they have the editor has been there for a long time, and he writes this funny column, and he just keeps beating this one topic to death. And I've met him. I know this guy really well. Excuse me. I know the guy really well. And I just shake my head because he's got such a flipping platform every week because he writes his own column. And he could do so many things and go so many places. And he never does. I mean, and he thinks he's got a bunch of funny jokes, and they're not funny. Any updates on the HOA? Yeah, there's 60 votes, and the vote was you had to have 41 votes to you had to have 40 votes to win, and it was 42 for the amendment and 18 against. So if I could have just convinced 3 other people, it wouldn't have passed. Horrible. And here's another little update. So yesterday, I'm coming back from town, and in the fall, the snowplow company puts up these 4-foot tall, even maybe 4.5-foot tall oak stakes that they paint the top fluorescent red, so that the plow driver is aware of danger spots where he doesn't want the plow to hit or whatever. And I don't know, he puts out about 30 of these sticks. I always pick them up, because I think they look like crap. And I can actually use these oak stakes. I'll use them for kindling, for firewood. And you have to wait until the ground thaws to get them out. And so just about time. So I was able to get a few of them out. I stopped. I was not in a hurry. And all of a sudden down the street comes this big black Cadillac Escalade. And it's this one big time lawyer who's a board member. And I just met the guy back in the fall when he ran for a special election. And we were kind of buddy back in the fall. But he was the guy that bitched on the phone call, on the first Zoom call, that said, "Oh, I was at the beach with my daughter, and one of the renters was talking about abortion, and my daughter had to learn about abortion at the beach." So no renters. But take that to the next logical step. So I wanted to say to him, I mean, I didn't say it on the call because I just thought, you're such a dumbass. So the next logical extension would be, so are you going to tell me when I'm down at the beach what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not allowed to talk about? Are there like taboo subjects? Like I'm not allowed to talk about transgenders, or I'm not allowed to talk about water things, or I'm not allowed to talk, I'm serious. That's where that would go. Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want my kids to learn about abortion at the beach. Well, then don't take them down to the flipping beach. Or at home, tell them all about abortion, that you're killing flipping human beings, Tell them we're killing human beings. That's what other humans do. But it's a flipping federal law. like right over here, like right over here in that tree. See that tree over there by the beach? We actually have one. See that tree up there? That's a nest for freaking bald eagles. If you climb that tree and you break one of those eggs, your ass is going to prison. So it's okay. I mean, it's not okay. It's not okay to kill bald eagle babies that are in the egg, but it's okay to kill humans. So he hasn't told his daughter about that yet. All right. It's in there, Vanessa. Trust me. I actually, you know what I'll do? I'll tell you where it is because I'm at the page, but I didn't open up the issue. So you have to click the issue. What happens is over on the right-hand column, there's an issue. There's like a miniature thumbnail of this week's issue. You have to click that and it opens up. It goes to another website. And then I'm looking at the previous screen opening up. And now I see in big print these two. Oh, it's baby goats. That's what it is. They're two tiny, cute baby goats. And then there's a big white arrow on the right. I click the white arrow. It opens up. Boom. There it is. My letter's first. It says transgender easy solution. All right. So pretty short letter. So that's that. I think the reason you're not finding it is because you're trying to hunt around on the WHOOSH Times website, but you have to click that issue with the little baby goats on it, and then you go to another website and you can see the issue. So that's what the problem is. All right. So there, I clearly, as soon as I click the cover or click the big white arrow, it flipped over to page 2. I see an ad for Apache tax preparation. I see an ad for Square Mountain tub cheese. It beats me what that is. And you see it right at the top, letters from the mailboat. So go there, read the letter. All right. So that's why you're having trouble. So the homeowner association, it passed. Nothing happens for a year. There's a 1-year grandfather clause. I hope to be out of here within a year. I hope to be the hell out of here. But here, I didn't finish the story. So this guy, the board member, stops his car, rolls down the window, and his son's in the car. Hey, how you doing? He's real friendly. I go, hi. And basically he's the enemy. He just took away my private property rights. That's what he does. And he expects me to be friendly with him. Are you out of your flipping mind? It's freaking war. And I've just got this serious ass look. Hi. Oh, what are you doing? I said, I'm picking up sticks. That's all I said, picking up sticks. Oh, it's going to be boating season soon. I go, I don't own a boat. He goes, oh, well, you can come on mine, go fishing. I said, got to go. See you later. And turned around and walked away like, screw you, loser. Yes, the WHOOSH Times. Well, I don't know why everybody's having such a hard time with this. Just go to that link that I just put. You end up at their website, and in the right-hand side column, you see these thumbnails of the recent editions. Click the top one that's got a little picture of 2 baby goats. Click it. It will transport you to another website where it's an electronic version of the paper. Nothing about this is hard. Nothing about it is hard. Keith, great. Pass it around. Keith, I'm serious about this. You need to take that link of that page, that URL, and you need to pass it around, to share it, whatever. We need to get people to start to stand up to this bullcrap. And I'm serious about my solution. I was dead serious. I've said it for the past 3 years. I see this stuff on television. I tell Kathy, and I'm like, what's wrong with these people? I mean, because I used to be the track manager in high school. I was the manager of the track team. All right. So in other words, here's what it is. All they're complaining about is that they want to be able to compete on race day with, the men want to compete in the girls. You notice it doesn't ever go the other way. Have you noticed that? Why are there no women transgenders who say they want to compete with the men? Have you ever, is there even one out there? Is there even a woman, a true woman, who says, I'm a man, I'm going to flip and grow a beard, and you know what? I'm going to take drugs, and I'm going to become flat chested. I've seen a bunch of flat chested women, by the way, but I think they're just still women. And I used to do the ham radio races on Mount Washington and see these professional women cyclists. And I don't think they have a flipping ounce of fat on their bodies. I mean, crazy. And we're supposed to report in the first 3 male and female competitors. And I mean, you have to look closely, like, is that a flipping woman or is that a man? You know, I mean, it's crazy. All right. So understand, like, all during the week, you know, the track team would practice. All right. Track team would practice. The track team would practice for an hour and a half. And then once a week, or maybe twice a week, we would have a meet with another school. All right. But that only happens on one day. All right. So the transgender people, they're confused and bewildered. That's okay. They can practice with the other people. They can practice till the flipping cows come home. I don't care about that. But when it comes time for race day, the transgenders need to race against themselves. All right. So if there's 2 transgender swimmers from school A and 3 transgender swimmers from school B, those 5 people have their own little meet on a different day. Remember, there's 7 days in a week. So the boys can race on Thursday, the girls can race on Friday, and the transgenders can race on Saturday. Nothing about this is hard. Not one freaking thing. Steve, yeah, in that bylaw that they passed of my HOA, it's not a stupid question. This is what I was so upset about. You say, could your HOA punish you for making money from your home? Yeah. Oh, charging content. Oh, I see. No. So this is really important. When I bought my house here, gosh, it's been 14 years. Hard to believe. So I was a real estate broker back in Ohio. I had never been in HOA. So I told my realtor, get a copy of the flipping bylaws. I need to read them before we make an offer. And they had a clause in there. It's been in there for years from the inception. There were very limited professions you could do at your home. You could not operate a business from your home where customers come to the house. Illegal, not allowed to do it. But they didn't have any fine structure set up. It's the stupidest set of bylaws that were ever created. Because it could be like, and that's happened. We've had people in the past violate the bylaws, but there's no punishment. There was no fine structure set up. So the bottom line is I'm able to legally work out of my house and not violate any bylaws. I'm able to do that. But if I could not operate, I'll give you an example. Let's say in my garage I had a picture framing business. I would not be allowed to have people come and look at samples, give me their artwork, and then come back a week later, pick up their frame. No, not doing that. And I agree with that. I don't want my community to be like that. It's a very upscale private community. So I don't want that. So it's a good bylaw. That is. But telling me that I can now no longer, I mean, I'm allowed, here's what it is. The bylaw is now, I can rent my house. I can rent my house to whoever I want, but I have to rent it to them for 3 months. So the dumbasses thought, okay, by no one's going to rent a house for 3 months. Like, that's too long because, Airbnb, people only rent it for a week or they have a 2-week vacation. Ha ha ha. So we'll make it 3 freaking months. You freaking dumbasses. I told them this months ago. I said, are you guys out of your flipping mind? I said, you can put that 3 month in there. I'll still rent it to a bunch of wild flipping banshees for just a week and charge them the $5,000, but I'll wink at them. Hey, remember, you need to stay here for 3 months. Wink, 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 wink. And then after a week, they go, oh, sorry, we have to leave. somebody, our neighbor's house is on fire. We got to go back and help him. What a bunch of dumbasses. So in other words, their whole point of this bylaw is they wanted to stop bad behavior by renters. What a bunch of dumbasses, completely dumbasses. And if you violate the bylaw, $5,000 a week. And so what happens if I want to rent my house to a group of deaf, mute, blind children that every week this big national organization treats 20 kids to come to my flipping house to sit on my deck, even though they can't hear or see anything, they just get to be in the warm sun. I'm not allowed to do that. They're not going to go down to the beach. They're not going to bother anybody. I'm not allowed. What happens if I want to rent my home to 8? I have a 4-bedroom house. All right, so I could rent it to 8 senior citizen couples. So 8 people, they each got their own bedroom, and all they want to do all day long is go out on my deck and play bridge and drink umbrella drinks. They're not going to go to the beach. They're not going to create any noise. I'm not allowed to do that. That's insanity. You could see why I'm so upset about it. Many transgenders just want to blend in. It's such a small minority. I know a transgender. He's been a transgender since 2012. I worked with him at the Boston Marathon. He's an incredible ham radio operator. Well, I should say she, because he changed his name to Shirley. And he's got breasts. He's got really thin hair, and he wears the most horrible dresses ever. All right. Oh, well, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I mean, he's a nice guy. Well, I don't know whether to call him he or she. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't care. But by God, don't. This whole sports thing, they're doing a good job. You know, they're doing it because they're trying to break us up. They're trying to split us up. All right. Idiots. Sports Illustrated did a 4-page article on the guy swimmer. Well, they're Sports Illustrated. They've drank the Kool-Aid. All right. HOAs. If you enter one, ensure exactly right. I agree. I couldn't agree more. I've now, because of what just happened, I've completely disconnected. I've gone back to where I was a year and a half ago. I used to be on the board. A bad thing happened, and I got so upset because I found out that it was truly a Game of Thrones happening here. I said, I'm done with you guys. I'm done. I'm not going to talk to anybody. Don't you dare come down here and bother me at my house. Like, get the F away from me. So that's where I am now. That's what I did to that guy yesterday. Like, and believe me, he got it. He knew right away that I was like, oh, shit. So I'm sure within an hour, he had typed a message to all the other board members like, hey, I just ran into Tim Carter. Boy, was he pissed. No shit. I'd chase them all to the gates of hell if I had the opportunity. I swear to God, I would. Yeah, it's all about control. So that's that. I've talked about this so many times on the live stream. All right, and I know you might be one that's sick of me hearing it, but I'm just going to say it. There could be people here. You might have never heard what I'm about to tell you. I'm trying to embark on writing this amazing fantasy book series. My son is an expert in this stuff. He has read them all. And in fact, right there is a set that he gave me for my Christmas. I got to start it. I'm starting it tonight, actually. And so I came up with this idea 2 years ago. I can't tell you about it. I don't want anybody to steal it. And I ran it by him. And his eyes went like this. He said, Dad, that is a really good idea. He said, Dad, that could be bigger. he says, I know you think I'm crazy when I say this. He said it could be bigger than Harry Potter. All right. So, so he said, listen, here's what you have to do, because if you don't do this, it's going to fail. And so he said, you have to, the bottom line is, you have to think through, you have to create the rules to this fantasy universe. You have to create all the rules. Like, in other words, like here in America, just think about the world you and I live in right now. It's really interesting when you think about this. So we know that fire, you know how to create a fire, light a match, burn some paper, whatever. You know what it looks like. It's hot. It can burn you. We have a sun in the sky. We have one moon. We have gravity. There's all these rules. We have all these rules in the world we live in. That doesn't mean the rules in another world are the same. So you have to write the rules. And then you have to really do all this work and map out everything. You have to map it out. Because J.K. Rowling made a couple of mistakes. She made a couple of mistakes, all right? Doesn't matter. She's a billionaire. She doesn't matter. So my son, I'm getting to the point. My son, one of the assignments, he said, Dad, he says, I need you to read the Game of Thrones. He says, you got to read the book series. Really, the first book's the most important, but I think you're going to like it. So I read the Game of Thrones over the past 12 months, 11 months. Everything in your life every day is Game of Thrones. If you have not read the Game of Thrones, at the very least, just get the first book in the series and read the first book. And everything that's happening here in my little tiny HOA is a Game of Thrones. In my town, it's a Game of Thrones. In my state, in my county, it's a Game of Thrones. In my state, at the federal level, at the international level, it's a Game of Thrones. That's what's happening in the news right now. It's a Game of freaking Thrones. And the Game of Thrones has basically only three major components to it, all right? Power, money, and sex. Those three. And sometimes one's more important than the other, all right? But power, money, sex. That's what drives the Game of Thrones. All right, so read the Game of Thrones, and I swear to God, you will have an aha moment. You'll go, oh, I get it now. I mean, where you work, where Vanessa was in the military, it's all Game of Thrones within the military. It's a Game of Thrones where you work. And the characters in the first book will help you navigate that game and do better and score higher. That's all. Read it. All right. I've been playing the game EverQuest. I haven't played that, so now I don't know what EverQuest is, but I'm sure it's a game like that. So anyway, all those things are on Hunter's laptop. Yeah, they are. No doubt about it. Especially some really bad video with him and his 14-year-old niece. All right. No one's got any problems at their home. We have quite a few people. Really interesting. 83% of the people now say I should create some sort of paywall. That's very interesting. Thanks for that feedback. That's really important. If you have a problem at your home, seriously, that's why I do these live streams, not to talk about HOAs, not to talk about Game of Thrones, not that I don't like, not to talk about transgenders, whatever. It's just I want to help you with stuff around your home. So you have to type your question in the chat, and then I'm happy to help you. And if it's too complex, I'll tell you. I'll just say we have to move it over to a phone call or whatever. So maybe the answer is on my website. You just have to type the question. That's all I can tell you. All right. What else? I think tomorrow morning is going to be kind of interesting. I hope I don't intend to be on very long, no more than an hour at the most, if that, unless we get a ton of questions. So, but I teased it so heavily. I teased tomorrow's live stream so heavily with my newsletter group. I mean, I was really playing the scarcity card heavily. Who knows? Could be 100, 200, 300 live viewers, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. It is 8:15 Eastern in the morning, 8:15 Eastern. And the reason it's going to be 8:15 is because at 8 o'clock, I always do a Morse code practice session with my Morse code student. So I do it on 80 meters. Doesn't take that long, but I just wanted to give myself enough time. So 8:15. Check out James May YouTube on toy trains from England. Okay, will do. I love model trains. I just, it's such a time suck. I've never had enough space to do a really great layout. I mean, people can put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into their layouts. I've seen it. There's two incredible layouts just miles from my house here. I've been to both of them. Crazy. Did it? That's L. That's L, Vanessa. And just a lot of people don't know this. I mean, Morse, the Boy Scout method is horrible. You do not want to learn Morse, the Boy Scout method. So Morse is auditory. In other words, if I could borrow Will's whiteboard, here's what I would do. So when you were a little kid and you were growing up, I mean, you were small, like 6 months old, 1 year old, and your parents had pets in the house. Here's what they did not do. They did not do this. They did not write on a piece of paper and say, oh, look, over there, that's the cat. That's the cat. C-A-T. Cat. They didn't do that. They just went like this. That's the cat over there. Don't pull the cat's tail. Don't eat the cat's food. No. Stop. Don't pick up that. I know it looks like a Tootsie Roll. Do not pick it up out of the litter pan. No. Don't pick up the cat's Tootsie Rolls. All right. That's how you learn to talk. All right. Because think about it. You learned to talk long years before you learned how to do this. You didn't learn this until what? Kindergarten? I'm sure now in preschool, they're reading books. I mean, your mom and dad read us books, but they were not teaching us how to read at age 3 and 4. All right. We knew that there were words, but we didn't know what they meant. All right. So if you're going to learn Morse code, you just hear it. And there are really great apps, all kinds of great stuff that, it'll just tell you, they like they tell it, I mean, anyway, it's auditory. Do not learn Morse code looking at the dots and dashes. Do not do that. It will go screw up your brain. Oh, and also when you learn it, set the speed at, well, here, I'll do it for you. You'll be able to hear it. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm turning on my ham radio, but I want to turn the power down to 1 watt because I'm going to transmit. And I want to go to another band that's dead right now. Here we go. Let's see if you can hear that. So you want to just hear it. You just want to hear it. So here's the letter R. But you want it to be that fast. You want to hear it that fast. So I'll do Vanessa's name. I'll do Vanessa's first name. So that's Vanessa. Here's Will. So pretty much fun. All right, so you get it. So you just have to learn, and there are great apps that teach you a letter a day. All right, so nothing about Morse is hard, but you need to learn it at that speed. Let me go back. you need to learn it like this, because I know you're going to say, I never can make it out that fast. Here's how Will would learn Morse code. In other words, I'm putting a lot of space between each character so that he can process this. So he can go. So he'd go, oh, da-da-da. Oh, yeah, that's W. Then he'd hear, oh, that's I, right. Da-da-da-da. Oh, that's L, right, got it. So, and then as you get better, you start compressing that space. Now, if you hear an expert do Morse code, this is how fast they would do Will's name. So there's just enough space between those, they can pick that out. All right. So now you learned a little bit about Morse code today. Big deal. All right. Well, my folks had some 78 RPMs with training for Morse. Yeah. Well, you don't need them now. You can just go look online for this. Go to the App Store. Just get your smartphone. So go get it. I mean, it's in the Google Play Store. I'm sure it's in the iPhone Apple Store. It's all free. Get the Coke Trainer. And what happens is set the speed at 18 words per minute, but set the Farnsworth at, I don't know, let's do it at 5 words a minute. So the Farnsworth is the spacing between the characters. But you need to learn the letters at 18 words a minute, or you're going to be so messed up. It's going to be horrible. All right. I don't have anything else to say. I'm done for the day. I'm going to go down and get the fish ready for tonight. Fish dinner. All right. Anything else? Any last comments? I'll give you a minute too. If you have any last comments, any last questions. You're welcome, Vanessa. It's always great to hear from you. Any last questions? I think not. It's pretty easy for me to go off the rails some days. Life is good. Yeah, it is. Spring's here. We had a lot of rain overnight, kind of a gray early start to the day. Then the sun came out for about 30 minutes. Then it got gray and rained again. Now I'm looking out the window. A lot of blue sky, very scattered clouds. It's gonna be golfing weather here. Let's see. Look at this before I leave. I'm sure Will's gonna go out. Let's see if I'm gonna go out. I'm looking ahead at next week. Of course, I haven't called the golf course. I don't even know if it's open, but I got several to choose from. Next week is not looking good. The forecast at this point, Tuesday is the best day. 53 and mostly sunny. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rain. The following week is looking fantastic. But this is the long range forecast. It can change. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the following week, all predicting sun and upper 50s. I guarantee you, if that holds, I'm going out. I'm going to be playing golf. Guaranteed. My league's starting soon. I don't want to look so bad in the league. Oh, I mean, I can't have my first league game be the first day I played golf. Cannot do that. Steve. Oh, you've been getting in here late, man. All right, I'm going to stick around for you. I'll stick around. Yeah, lift clean in place when it's systematic. Exactly. So Steve, let's see what's happening. I talked about earlier. I talked about this thing, this big flipping blower. so it blows a lot of air. So you can blow leaves around. All right. Um, and then we talked about the transgenders. My letter to the editor. Um, so go here. I think that'll work. I think that is the link I put in before. Yeah, yeah. So go there, Steve. When you end up at that website, you're going to see some thumbnails on the right-hand side. The top thumbnail, you might be able to see two small baby goats standing next to one another. Click that. Click that thumbnail. It takes you to another website, and then you get a bigger picture of the baby goats. You'll see a white arrow on the right. Click that, and it flips the newspaper to page 2. And right at the top, it says letters to the editor. And then read the first one. Read the first one. So we talked about that. Gave an update on the HOA. I'm doing a live stream in the morning for the first time. I'm going to do, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm going to be on at 8:15 Eastern, which Marcus earlier, I don't know if Marcus is still around, but Marcus said that last week you turned your clocks ahead. So I'm thinking that he said there's 5-hour time difference right now. Is that right? Steve, in London, is it let's see, it's 5. Is it 9:30 in London or 10:30 in London right now? We just had the nominee for our Supreme Court in the United States. So let's see, you hit the percentage. 5 hours. Okay, yeah, it's 5 hours. Okay, 10:30. All right, thank you, Marcus. So it's 10:30 in London too. All right. We had that problem here last week where the woman who is a nominee for the Supreme Court in the United States, one of the senators asked her, "Can you please define the word woman?" And it looked like you had shined a bright light in this woman's face, and she just kind of went, no, I can't." And then she said, "I'm not a biologist." That was her answer. How hard, I mean, this is how easy it is to define a woman. All right. A woman is a human being that's got 2 X chromosomes, period. That's it. What's a man? A man, he's got an X and a Y chromosome. Yeah, that was great. That was great. The woman at that swim meet. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, but I mean, but come on. If you took high school biology, if your biology teacher didn't talk about DNA and genetics and chromosomes, something's wrong. All right. Anyway, so you're going to like my letter to the editor because it kind of was big in the news here in the United States about that transgender that won the NCAA Division I women's 500-meter race, and what's bothered me, I'm repeating this. So what's bothered me over the past 3 years about this whole transgender thing, like when I would see it come up and I'm talking with Kathy, I would go, this is so easy. The transgenders just have to race against themselves. I talked about this earlier. Years ago, I used to be the manager of our track team in high school. And when we would practice 5 days a week, but we would have a meet on one day of the week. So all the sports are the same way, like football. Like we would only have one football game a week. There would only be one basketball game a week. All right. So if it's a boys and girls school, maybe they have the boys game on Friday night and the girls game on Saturday night. Well, they can now have the transgender game on Thursday night, the boys on Friday night, and the girls on Saturday. Nothing about this is hard. Let the transgenders play sports. I'm okay with that. But they just have to play themselves. They can practice with the other kids. They can practice till the cows come home. I don't care. But when it comes game time, nope. You gotta play against the other transgenders. All right. That's exactly what I said, Steve. You don't see trans women going the other way. And the reason, I mean, it's so obvious. Are you kidding me? The men will kick your ass all day long. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. You know, God made us all differently. God made us men typically stronger. Not all the time. Okay. I'm not an expert. You know, it's just the way it is. I know that there are women that can outrun me. I know there's women golfers that can outplay me. All of them, all the women golfers can do better than me. I get it, but exactly. Tuck rule. Exactly. Oh, I know. Yeah, Will, you're Senator Susan. Come on. She's always been a flippin' rhino. You know, here's how cynical I am. I think the deep state, they invite, there was actually one of our young congressmen came out with this last week. I don't know, Steve, you saw this. It's some young person that's in a wheelchair. And they tried to get him to go to a party. He admitted this on video. He said, yeah, they invited me to this party. And then I come to find out it's this big sex party and big orgy party. So I think what happens is that, you know, most of the men are like, I'm all in. I mean, and then you know what's happening. It's the same thing as Epstein. So the reason Epstein made all those millions and millions of dollars is because he enticed all these people. Come, I've got all these young women who want to have sex with you and they'll do whatever you want and whatever. Well, he recorded all of it. All right. And the men are so stupid. I mean, he had probably 10 cameras in the room. And then after they're done, the next day he goes, if you don't pay me, I'm gonna show this. You know, I'm gonna ruin you. Ah, shit. Okay. So, you know, he just does it with really, really wealthy people. All right. So just like what, Prince Andrew? I mean, how much like that's what got me interested in that whole what's the the royal family worth? Billions of dollars. So how much money do you think was that his name? Prince, not Andrew. Is it Prince Andrew? Is that who I'm thinking of? How much money, how many millions of dollars do you think he paid Jeffrey Epstein to keep it quiet? All right. So they're doing this in Washington. All right. So because they want to blackmail you. If they can't convince you, if they can't pay you off, then they want to blackmail you. So the deep state's got something on Susan Collins. All right. They've got something on her, whatever it is. So she's done something bad. They say, if you don't vote this way, we're going to expose you. That's me. That's the cynic. All right. Yeah, it's totally spreading through, but it's going to come to an end, Steve. Keith, I would have been okay with a woman's a few years ago, but now I'm tired of the chipping away. Yeah, none of us need to go in it. It's really simple. Just Keith, you're exactly right. That's what I put in my letter to the editor. You know that. It's if you hit, in other words, we've got drug testing in professional sports. That's what I put in my letter. Like, in other words, like in NFL or in baseball, no freaking steroids, okay? No Barry Bonds steroids or whatever. The other guys, like assholes. So there's drug testing, and the athletes know it going in. So it's like, all you just simply say, if you want to compete here in the NCAA, or you want to compete in high school sports, no problem. You have to take the saliva swab. We're going to have somebody saliva you. And that's all. We're not going to do it, but we're going to find out what, if you've got two X's or you have an X and a Y. And then that tells us where you're going to compete. Nothing about this is hard. And if they say, no, I don't want the swab, it's, just like you don't want the jab, well, then you can't do it. They want it both ways. Like, oh, you have to get the freaking jab. But, oh, no genetic testing. Are you serious? That's a violation of personal privacy. Screw you. Oh, my gosh. You can see why there's been revolutions. All right. I just bought a Ryobi leaf blower, but I don't need it. I bought it because it was cheaper because it came with a battery. Good. I was kind of surprised how expensive this thing was, this Toro thing. I mean, this battery, basically, they're charging for this battery $70. I mean, with the charger. The charger can't cost them $3 to make. All right. The charger is just a very simple plastic case with a very simple transformer in it. And a chip or two, like a little tiny card. But no, I don't. I've got to do a live stream tomorrow, but I'm going to be on my best behavior tomorrow. I'm going to be on my best behavior. No going off the rails tomorrow. So if you're going to watch the live stream tomorrow, do me a favor. Do not bring up this transgender stuff. Do not bring up the illness. Don't bring any of this up. Because tomorrow, if I did everything right today when I sent out the newsletter blast, I could have 100, 200 people watching tomorrow. Because man, I pushed it hard. Like the future of Ask the Builder. Like, whoa, what's the future? So we'll see. So don't be on your best behavior tomorrow. Oh my gosh. You might roll out early to watch. Yeah. Well, I know you can get out early because you I know you told me when you have to volunteer at the golf course, you're there pretty early. So anyway, usually the batteries cost 70 pounds, but the balloon battery was that's a good price. That's a really good price. Yeah. 50 pounds. Wow. Yeah, you've heard me talk about this before. Well, you may or may not have been here, Steve, but I've talked 5 a.m. in the summer. Well, yeah, I'm up at 5. I'm up usually up at 4:30 because it gets so light. I saw it coming 10, 12 years ago. I felt that the tool companies were going to become battery companies. All right, so this is the battery. This is a 60-volt battery. All right, because they're not dummies. I mean, the men and the women that are in upper management of these companies, they've got MBAs. All right, so they look at the companies like Gillette and some of these other companies. I mean, Gillette is not that you may think Gillette's in the shaver business. No, they're in the razor blade business. All right, they give you the razor for free. I mean, in fact, that's what's eventually that's what Ryobi just did to you in a way. It's like, we'll give you the flipping tool for free. Have the tool for free. But we know down the road, you're going to get the batteries. And what they're all in this race to do is they're trying to get people pigeonholed into a brand, what I call a brand silo. So that you just buy all Milwaukee tools. And so, because the batteries are interchangeable. So you'll either own all Milwaukee or you'll own all. Like if Jimmy was still here, he buys these. You're all Milwaukee or you're all whatever, Bosch or you're all DeWalt, whatever. And that's their plan. That's the plan. That's why you see them make transitioning all of the corded tools to battery, because they're trying to get you into their battery plan. That's the deal. So anyway, crutch word. Batteries so expensive and huge profit margin in these batteries. Huge profit margin. All right. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to get out of here. Going to go up to the mailbox, see if anything came today. Will says an interchangeable adapter to use. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see that happen. I don't see that back, because when I look at all my different batteries, they have made them pretty different on purpose. So I don't see it happening. Nope. Whatever. But I liked your idea about going out and buying high quality corded tools. That's a smart idea. Invest some money in that. I mean, because with inflation, That money, I mean, because your cash money is going down. I'll tell you this really quickly. I did a really interesting. I was going to kind of put it in the newsletter for Sunday, but I didn't. About how I'm going to price the premium content moving forward. Since 1993 here in the United States, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but here in the United States since 1993, the dollar has lost 49% of its value. And it's losing it pretty quickly now. All right. So it was kind of just floating along there for a while, but it's the point is that you buy two things are going to be in play that are going to help you. If you buy, I don't know, like if you buy 10 corded saws, really good ones, like really good corded saws, not the crappy ones, or routers or whatever. Not only is inflation going up, but because of supply and demand, that's going to drive the price through the flipping roof. So I'm actually next week going to start to reach out to all the tool companies and start to say, look, I want to review. I know you don't want to send it, but see if I can get them to send me these corded tools to review. Yeah. Leave them in the original box. Don't open them up. Exactly. Steve says it's surprising that lithium and cobalt don't affect the climate, but fracking does. Yeah, exactly, Steve. I mean, what they have to do to extract these open pit mines. Are you kidding me? The deep state owns all that stuff. Yeah, Marcus, exactly. There are battery adapters out there for power tools. I know. Anyway, I just think it's a good. I mean, I have a bunch of corded tools still. I got a great, really powerful Milwaukee corded saw. Three amazing corded routers. I still have a corded portable job site table saw. Whatever. I'm just saying it's and just for your own personal use, because you're going to save money in the long run. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have the cordless tool, but not at the expense. I mean, if batteries are now like Steve, if batteries are $70, what are they going to be 2 years from now? They're going to be $140. It's crazy. Just buy a flipping corded tool. I worked with corded tools my whole career. Wasn't the end of the world. Right. Of course they do. Of course they own stock. They're allowed to do that insider trading. Of course they do. It's all so flipping corrupt. It's just all. That's why my friend Jim Cluett is the happiest guy I know. He does not pay attention to any of this stuff. He's just disconnected. Happiest guy I've ever met. It's not a bad idea when you think about it. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go start getting ready for dinner. I gotta cut up the chicken. I gotta bread it. Blah 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 blah. I'm not chicken, fish. Having fish tonight. So, all right. Thanks for being here. Almost 2 hours. Insanity. So, Steve, glad you got here. Marcus, awesome, man. You've been here the whole time. I hope your wife doesn't get mad at you. Jeez, oh Pete, man. She probably saying, I wish I could do the Irish accent. Kath, like, what are you watching that flippin' old man for? That old goat. You're paying attention to him and not me. Oh my gosh. She's in bed asleep. Oh, good. So you're cool. Good for you. She's you and your wife have got a similar schedule to Kathy and I. Kathy and I are 3 hours apart. Actually, like last night, I forget which night it was. Maybe it was last night. Maybe it was the night before. I guess when she came to bed, she made noise or whatever. Woke me up. It was like 1 a.m. Like, what the hell have you been doing? She's out there watching TV or whatever. I don't know, man. She's just like her dad. Her dad was the same way. He was a night owl. A young silver top. That's me. I feel really young. I do. I feel, some days I feel like I'm 18, so, and when I say that, Kathy just starts laughing. She goes, trust me, you are not at all like you were when you were 18. I mean, that's like putting the freaking dagger in the heart. Like, oh, okay, do you have to bring it up? I love her to death. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got to go. I had a great time today. All right. Thanks for being here. So Steve, tomorrow, I know you're probably busy, could be working, who knows, out and about. Let's see. At 1:15 in the afternoon, your time, I'm going to be on here. 1:15 in the afternoon, your time, Marcus. But you should be playing with your kids and stuff, Marcus. Don't turn me on. I'm going to be really focused tomorrow. Steve, if you do tune in, behave yourself. No, we're not talking politics tomorrow. Because the reason why is if I did everything right today, I'm going to have a lot of my newsletter subscribers here. We're going to see. 86% in the poll. I'm going to end the poll. Wow, that's amazing. So I'm going to, I am going to put a paywall up. Researching some things. It's not going to be everything. What's going to be cool. I already know how I'm going to do it. It's going to be, you're going to be able to read so many columns a week, a month for free or whatever. And then if you want to see other ones, it's going to pay a very small amount of money, very tiny amount of money. So, so anyway, all right. Well, thanks for being here today. I know. You're right. I'm such an easy mark. It's so easy to get me to go off the flipping rails. I mean, well, and you know why, Steve? Because you and I are alike, as well as Will and Vanessa and others here. We're true patriots. We are. We care about our country. I mean, I know it drives you nuts what's going on in the UK. Marcus too, probably. It must drive you guys flipping nuts. And I mean, it drives me nuts here in America. I mean, and then here I am, part of the working media, and I just am so upset at my peers. Yeah, so what? I write a home improvement column. Well, there's people that write food columns, but we're all peers, and there's people that write political stuff, and there's people that are supposed to do hard news, but they're doing a crappy job. They're doing a really crappy job. They're going to pay for it in the end. My father-in-law had a saying. My father-in-law was such a smart man. Oh my gosh. Grew up in the Depression, on a very remote rural farm. I mean, remote rural farm. His father left his wife. My father-in-law's father left his wife. Here's this wife on this farm with 3 or 4 young kids, raising them and making a flipping living. Smart guy. Anyway, he had a saying. I love the saying. I use it all the time. The mills of the gods grind slowly but thoroughly. Yeah, the media, they're so bad. Flipping evil. They're evil. All right, I got to go. I just, I'm still in a great mood, though. You need to understand that I'm in a great mood. All right. So, I don't know what's going to happen with, I don't know what's going to happen with Brandon. I don't know. We sure as hell don't want the cackle woman. We don't want cackler. So there's got to be some way or other out of this. We don't want cackle woman. I mean, did you see that food salad she served up the other day? The word salad she served up the other day. She is so flipping ignorant. All right, gotta go. Thanks for being here today. Marcus, Steve, Will, Vanessa, so many others. Don, I mean, the list is a mile long. Don, Steve, I'm trying to go through the list here. So many people. My gosh. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you watch the live stream. It really is. I've made this new family of friends. It's very cool. I cannot wait to meet all of you. Seriously. Cannot wait. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks for being here today. I'm Tim Carter. You've been watching Ask the Builder. I'll be here. I know it sounds crazy, in just 10 hours and 15 minutes. I'm sorry, not 10 hours. 14 hours and 15 minutes. 14 hours and 15 minutes, I'll be here. I'm Tim Carter. It's been Ask the Builder. Thanks a lot.